What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Wingin It podcast. I got with me the usual suspects, as always. Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I am making it, and Andre.
Oh, I'm doing real good. I mean, I'm coming off of a nice high from doing my podcast, so we good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you have not had a chance to check that out, please go by and check out Andre's first Game Idea for Andre podcast. It was a lot of fun, even though I was acting a fool. So,
Yeah, but that's welcome there.
Right.
pretty much. All right. So this week in foolishness, well, not really foolishness, but we're gonna start this off with Arcade One Up. Are y'all really trying to get people in trouble? I mean, all these arcade cabinets y'all making, y'all know good and well people in relationships cannot buy these right now, and you know half these men finna be in trouble because they finna be in fights with their significant others. Y'all know this, right?
Dudes ready to drop themselves $200 to $300 on one of them just to sit it in the corner and sit in your chair, play it all day.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, there's the X-Men one, there's KI 1 and 2.
Oh man.
I think the Simpsons is supposed to have one. They're supposed to have the Simpsons one.
Oh,
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one's already out.
Yeah.
Is it just the first Turtles game, or is it?
No, it's the arcade game and it's Turtles in Time.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was talking about because the arcade game came out first before the one came out in the NES.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's that one and Turtles in Time. The arcade version of Turtles in Time, not the console version.
Yeah.
So and those are out. The X-Men one is supposed to come, I think, this spring, I think, if it's not already out. I can't remember. But I know Killer Instinct 1 and 2 is coming this summer. So I'm
Man,
sitting
they
there
are
looking
hitting
and I'm
people's
like,
wallets hard.
yeah, I'm sitting here looking and I'm like, you know what? There's gonna be a lot of people in trouble this year.
Yeah, man. I mean, I thought about getting into one, but I knew me. Like, it'll get in there and I'll play it. And then after a while, I put it down because, I don't have a lot of people that come to my house. So that's the appeal for me to have somebody alongside me playing, especially when you talk about Turtles in Time.
Oh,
You
yeah.
need
definitely
help
doing
for that.
something. Yeah. So, I mean, I would love it because I have a friend of mine. He got one of the countertop type arcades. And the only time we get turned on when people come over and he's like, yo, take a look at it. I'm like, okay. He just got it as a show off piece.
Like, I can see myself getting one. I'm in an apartment, so there's no
Yeah,
way
me
I'm
too.
getting one because where I'm gonna put it at.
Right.
But if I had a house, I would definitely get that Turtles in Time, the Turtles one, and the X-Men one because
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
probably have my nieces and nephews over, and we will go to town.
Right.
So and like when my brother comes over, I know we get it in. So I'm not. It's one of those situations where the only reason why I haven't gotten one yet is because I live in an apartment by myself.
Right.
I don't have anywhere to put it.
I imagine that move, even when you did get
Yeah.
like a house, and the mover is like no respect.
Yeah, and then we'd have to.
No insurance in the world go save your ass today.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. So I do plan on getting one or two or three or four at some point.
You can mod them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Okay.
can.
Yeah.
Because my thought would be to get one and then mod, like, say if SNK was smart and they decided to put like the whole King of Fighters collection
Right.
on one, I would get that and mod it to put a couple of other ones on there. Like, but that I would also want to have it set up so I could connect it to like a computer or something to broadcast or stream from it, because that would be a part of the fun of having it.
Yeah.
yeah. A true arcade version. Yeah. I
Now, I'm
mean,
curious if they're still doing what they did with some of the early version ones too, to where they were different models. And I don't think it was something they really announced, but I know, for example, Mortal Kombat. Like, if you got the Mortal Kombat one, let's say from Sam's Club, it was a little bit different from the one from
At
Walmart.
Target.
Yeah, because it had like the actual like the logo was lit up, and it came with a stool and everything with it. I was like, that was actually better with better speakers too. Like, it just depended on
'Cause
where
that
you
was
got
more
it
like
from.
the deluxe version.
Right.
so I think Target has that, and I think the Sam's Club one has those. I think the regular Walmart, and I forgot the other place that has them. They just have the regular countertop to thing, that the extender that makes it normal size.
Right.
And you have to buy your own stools. So yeah.
Look, I
There's
wouldn't
that.
care. Look, a stool could Depending on where you go, you can get a good stool for like $5-10. So,
Right.
Yeah, that ain't that's not even an issue. And yeah, but I do like the idea of it because I miss the arcades. I
Me too.
really do. Arcades was where you actually knew you were good because most people back then you couldn't talk trash because you'd have to go outside and handle it.
Right.
Talk to the wrong person the wrong way.
That was depending on how you did it. Now, if you went into personal stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
you was getting stomped.
Yeah.
But if you kept it to what y'all was doing, like, man, you was trash. You didn't know how to avoid them moves.
Right.
People didn't really get so much upset at that.
Yeah, normally it depended. Like you said, it depended on who you was dealing with. But most times, like the best trash talk became if it was like two friends that were doing it. You didn't just trash talk no random person.
Right.
You really didn't do that because you ain't know how they were feeling that day.
Either it was you wouldn't trash talk someone random.
Yeah.
Or unless you saw them there often enough, you might, because at that point you start to get to know people.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I know, like, that I miss the arcade scene. And hey, I'm glad Arcade 1-Up exists because once I get myself situated, I will be partaking in some of their products.
You're gonna have a whole arcade room, just have a bunch of them lined up against.
I'm gonna have them like it's gonna be like a corner, just all going one corner. It's gonna be all the way around the room, like. And I hope if they have one to take quarters, I will be charging during birthday parties.
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect. That'd be perfect.
Oh, you want to go play? I have no problem with you playing if I don't know you. Pay up.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I ain't gonna go crazy. I ain't gonna charge you like $1 in quarters. Nah,
you don't have to do that. You don't have to do all that. You just be like, okay, swipe your card.
Yep.
Yep.
Swipe your card. Like, oh, you want to play? Hold on, let me grab my phone real quick.
Yeah.
Like the card scanner here. Swipe.
And I won't even buy Ghosts and Goblins, so you won't even have to get mad.
I would.
I'll get games that you could probably beat.
I would damn sure get Ghosts and Goblins.
Definitely.
I wouldn't do that to nobody. I really wouldn't do that. I'm not evil.
Hey.
I guess I am.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, man.
These are facts.
I mean, look, I would give them unlimited plays for that $5. I would just have fun watching the frustration.
Yeah, because they are gonna get mad. I swear that game was broken, but yeah.
Oh, it damn sure was.
I've seen people speed run that, which is just amazing.
Okay, I'll be honest. I respect and don't like speedrunners all at the same time. Because they make me feel inadequate.
If you really want to feel inadequate, watch those tool-assisted speed runs.
Oh yeah, the TaskBot.
I watched one for Mega Man X and saw the motherfucker do some shit I did not think was possible. Like he used what's the character? Boomercranger's weapon, the rolling cutter. Mm-hmm. Used it to move a platform and jump against the platform and make it fly across the screen. I was like, how the hell did you do that? Like, how do you do that? I will never attempt to recreate it.
It's nuts. And then now what IGN has this thing, and I think GameSpot does it too, to where they have the actual developers come in and watch a speed run and do, and talk over it, but just hearing the pain. Like, man, we spent this many hours figuring this out and you just decimated it in a matter of seconds. Like it's nuts.
Hey man, yeah, but speedrunners are cool, I guess. All right, so moving on to actually something that I thought was actually pretty cool, because it takes my love of laughing at EA to a whole new level. Lucas Games is now Lucasfilm has their own game thing back, and they're going to be putting all of their titles under one umbrella, which thankfully I'm happy about. Now the only problem is, and this goes into another topic that we're going to be talking about in a little bit, they're talking about Indiana Jones game.
I have a feeling that had some Microsoft on the back of it, because I mean I know people are looking at it from an exclusive standpoint, and at this point, I mean, what is the point? Because like you mentioned before we came on, Tomb Raider and Uncharted.
Uncharted, like there's no point to this.
There's
Yeah.
really
Unless you're gonna get Harrison Ford to voice it, which I hope they do. I hope it's a new story.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because why do it movie based? I mean, unless there's some secret Indiana Jones movie that's on the horizon.
Well, I mean, this
They
is the
do
best
have
way to
the
do
young
it.
indie stuff coming.
Yeah.
So.
This is
Okay.
the best way to have a young. You can do like a younger Harrison Ford, but still have, because Harrison Ford is what, pushing 70 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't have him do all that crazy stuff that Indiana Jones used to do. So you could just have him come in and voice and still do it in that 80s, 90s type environment, and that may work. That may work a little better, I would think. But we don't know anything. They just showed like a clip of a trailer, and I don't really call it a trailer. I call it a clip because all they showed was like a desk with the whip on it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just
Now,
to get somebody happy about whatever.
Yeah. Now, that being said, I do like the fact that Lucasfilm is, because I think they should have never got rid of LucasArts.
Right.
No, they shouldn't have.
I thought that was stupid. But I'm glad that they're getting all this stuff back up under one umbrella, and I'm glad they're taking the reins from EA, which I kind of figured that was going to happen after that whole Battlefront 2 shenanigans that happened. And when Disney saw that, like, hold on, we just bought this and y'all doing what? Y'all charging what? Hey, call EA.
It's an amazing game, though, and that's the crazy. I played it on Game Pass. It's an amazing game, but EA EA'd it.
Yeah. Well, I knew
That's
EA was
sad
gonna do that when they came to some game show and bragged about all the money they made off DLC and microtransactions. I'm like, oh, they never stopping this. They never stopping this train.
Why? I mean, why do it?
Why do it if they're going to get people to make money off of it?
Right.
Yeah.
Adding a FIFA are living proof that you really don't have to do anything.
Yeah. And the thing about the Star Wars fan base, it's so big, it don't matter if the majority of them hate it. If just 10% of that fan base gets some of that stuff, you'd have made about $200 million.
Yep.
That's how big that fan base is.
Yep.
And they were parents who were gonna buy Rey and Finn for their kid, and they knew it. They knew it, which is why they overcharged for it. Which is why Germany went and put that lawsuit on them.
Yep.
For the whole loot box situation.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why I laugh at EA.
I mean, they truly do it to themselves, and I'm glad that the whole thing happened with Star Wars, so that way they don't have their hands on it at all. Because I mean, they're clearly showing if there's a way to monetize, we're going to try.
We're going to do it.
And I honestly think they have not found a way to do it with NBA Live, hence why we haven't seen it. It's not that they're finding new ideas and how to innovate the game. They're trying to find a way to
find a way to monetize it that'll be successful.
Well,
exactly.
I mean, they fired everybody that actually cared about the game. They fired the entirety of EA Tiburon.
Yeah,
they're gone.
And they were
closed down the other house that they had that made cool stuff. This is what happens when suits get involved in stuff. They don't care about the game themselves. They don't care about the product. They care about that dividend they're gonna get at the end of the year.
Yep.
Instead of thinking about the longevity of the product, they just thinking about how quickly they can make a return on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And like you said, Madden and NBA, man, them sports franchises, that's the easy check for them.
Yep.
Easy.
But you know the screwed up thing. There was a real easy way for them to monetize Star Wars that wouldn't have pissed anyone off. Put Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 on the Switch, as well as the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would pay for itself.
Yeah, they made a lot of money off that.
I know people don't like to talk about it, but I mean, you got like the Switch is out selling everything, which is not fanboyism. That is a fact.
Yeah,
it's straight up a fact. It's been doing it for a while.
Yeah. But you can't find PlayStations. That's why it's happening, Jay.
Yeah, which we already knew this was going to happen because, like I told people, I'm like, there's not that many of these new consoles being made. We are in a pandemic.
Right.
And the place where they're being made at had to go into lockdown on 3 separate occasions.
Yep.
There are not that many. If they have any, you have a limited stock. So if you got one, be happy. But if it breaks, you're screwed. So
we waiting for a while. Because I think one guy was saying as soon as he got his, when it came out, he had that little graphic issue to where stuff was just shooting all over the place. And they told him pretty much you're not getting another one until January. And mind you, this was back in November. So, I mean, the fact that you happy you got one, but then now you got to wait another 2 months before you even get a chance to play it. Like,
the bad thing is, I'd be like, I can't send it to you to get it repaired.
Right.
Well, if the place where they have it at, the way they can repair it at is in lockdown, they can't.
Dang.
But there was also for EA another thing that could have worked with monetizing Star Wars, and again, that wouldn't have pissed anyone off. Knights of the Old Republic 3, because people have been asking for it.
Yeah, but who's gonna put on it? Because that was BioWare, and then I think Obsidian did the second one. So
who do they have doing the Old Republic?
I don't know who they have doing the Old Republic. I really don't.
Give me one, and I can actually.
Yeah, because I think that team had changed like 3 or 4 times. So, because remember the which was the one that came out like back in 2008 or 9, the one with that ridiculously long cinematic that everybody thought was an actual animated movie.
I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, it was like a 10-minute cinematic, and everybody like, "Oh snap, this is a movie?" Like, nah, it's for the video game, but it was like a MMO.
No, BioWare was working on the Old Republic. So who's doing it now?
Yeah, that was saying it changed like 2 times at least I know of.
That's nuts.
As long as it ain't the team that did Force Unleashed 2, because they made
that game was rushed as hell.
Yeah, I mean, they made a 4.5-hour game and charged you $70 for it.
That was an expansion pack, like I don't know what.
Yeah, I'm like, and the thing was, when it was over, you're like, wait a minute, y'all just cut the game off? Yes, we literally cut the game off.
Yep. Nope, fun, right? it is still just BioWare.
Wow.
Apparently, they're doing a good job with that for some reason.
I don't see how it's BioWare, because...
Aren't they doing that Mass Effect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still falls under... It might be... Or BioWare might be retaining the license and
they just haven't...
Yeah.
Sent it to anybody. Okay. Because I remember hearing that they weren't working on it, and that was the last I heard about it.
Well, all I'm looking at so far, at least with a cursory glance, is showing BioWare. So it'll probably take a deeper dive to figure out
where
any nuances.
Yeah, who got what? Well, since we ain't gonna get nowhere with that, let's just talk about the big issue that happened last week that a lot of people are very upset about. That has me personally laughing. We finally got Super Saiyan Mario.
Hey. It was a matter of time. He gotta match the rest of his parade clique. You got Goku, you got Sonic. Yeah, you have to.
Now it's Super Saiyan Cat Mario.
Which is so
the bad thing is why you gotta require a cat suit.
I know.
Right. That's just the awkward part.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Did the curatorium not sign off on this, and that's why you had to put him in the cat suit? I mean,
probably not. That's why he's like, okay, the cat suit's yellow. We'll go with that.
Yeah. Right. But I gotta say, a lot of people like they like the design on Bowser. On Fury Bowser,
so menacing.
But here's the thing: it's Demise mixed with Godzilla.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And I'm like, this works
and
on like so many levels.
But worst thing is, this came directly from Nintendo. People act like Nintendo can't draw characters that cause you nightmares.
Right.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
All because they do the whole everyone situation. Don't mean they can't turn up one time.
Just like I said last night, Ocarina of Time, that's it. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say about that. That will give you nightmares. That whole entire, when you go through as a kid in the bottom of that well, is designed to mess with your head.
Especially if the rumors are true and they remake Ocarina of Time HD for the Switch.
That's gonna be interesting.
That whole part where you have to do that and the Shadow Temple is gonna mess with people's heads.
People that don't know anything, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna laugh throughout the whole thing, but yeah, because I know where everything is, so I'm gonna laugh. It's gonna be hilarious to me. But people that ain't never played it, they gonna lose their mind when they go in there. Especially when you a kid, you walk in that room and Death's Head don't come out yet, and you try to go back out the door, and then he comes behind you.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. The first time that happened to me when I was playing it when I was a kid, I saw that for a moment I almost dropped the controller. Our reflexes kicked in and I grabbed it, but it almost fell out of my hand because I was kind of just caught off guard.
Because like you go in the room, and sorry, this is gonna take a little minute, but you go in the room, there's nothing in there. So you're thinking, okay, I gotta go back out. You turn around to go back out, that mother comes right up behind you.
Wow.
Like, God dang it. And then he just won't die. So yeah.
It takes forever to kill that thing.
Yeah. So I'm actually liking what I saw. Now the first trailer, they put out 2 trailers. The first trailer was the regular 2-minute trailer,
right,
showing off and it was just the Bowser's Fury part. The second thing they showed was like a 7-minute kind of deep dive where they talked about 3D World, and then they went and talked about the new add-on. Now, apparently it is an add-on, and Fury Bowser is going to wake up at different points, and you just have to run from him until you get that bell, that cat bell thing up enough to where you can actually fight him. Which, actually, I kind of like that. So it got me thinking.
Super Mario survival horror.
Yeah. So it got me thinking, are they hitting that they're gonna do something like a true open world for Mario in the next full game?
They might.
I mean, if you look at this looks more like Odyssey than it does, Super Mario 3D World. Like, honestly, from the camera to the way that you're running around, collecting the different cat shines or whatever you want to call them, because it was a lot of Sunshine-esque and Odyssey things going on within this trailer. But in regards to what they're doing next, I mean, that's kind of where you but with Mario, they found ways to make it work in something new. As much as people like to say Mario is the same game every time, I mean, they find some new way to make Mario different. So, I mean, if you talk about open world Mario, that'd be interesting. Like, really interesting.
No, though, the thing was, like, even when Odyssey was first shown off, when they did that sizzle reel for the Switch when it first showed up, my first thought was that game was running in the same engine as 3D World.
Right.
Yeah.
I was figuring it's the same engine, maybe with some tweaks, but it was the same engine because everything looked the same.
Yeah, it has to. I mean, it literally looks like a level that was not on Odyssey. Like it would have been a DLC for Odyssey.
Yeah. So
it was probably planned for that, and they figured, well, we're going to be releasing 3D World. Why don't we just stick it on that?
Yeah. Now, the other thing too is because EAD does like to work in. They like to use stuff from their teammates. I can so see them doing a Mushroom Kingdom like Hyrule in Breath of the Wild. I can so see them doing that, and just having Mario, Luigi, and Toad and Princess Peach all playable.
It's doable because with the way they expanded stuff with Odyssey, they have all the tools that they need to make a real true open world game for Mario, and then have real time quest type situations like The Legend of Zelda. They could do it.
Yeah, and with this whole how they doing Fury Bowser, that's basically a Lionel or a Guardian Stalker battle. That's basically what it is. Yeah. When you look at it, when you think about it, it's basically what it is. Okay, this amount of time. Oh snap! He woke up. Run.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So
let's call it what it is. That's Calamity Bowser.
Pretty much. That's exactly what I thought about. It's like he's at the castle. He woke up. Like it's time to do whatever. Like that's exactly what I thought about with Zelda right off bat. But I mean, Mario could go in so many different directions. Now, I would think it would be interesting if they had like a new villain for the 3D mainline titles. Because I mean, if you look at the little spin-offs where you talk about, Mario and Luigi, they tend to have like a different, antagonist when it comes down to it. But when it comes down to 3D, it's always Bowser. Granted, changes.
I was always thinking that they could put Wart back in. All
Yep.
they have to do, there's so much magic in Mario. They could make up an excuse and say Wart came out of the dream realm.
Yep.
Yeah. And nobody would bat an eye.
And
No.
it's not like Shy Guys appeared in Mario before Mario 2. They didn't.
Right.
They were in Mario 2 first and then showed up in other games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the way they had the way they can go with Mario is ridiculous at this point because they set it up to where you can literally do anything with Mario, literally.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And you can. I mean, hell, they put him in the 3-on-3 basketball game. Come on, man.
You can do anything. I think the only franchise I feel like they've hit a road with has got to be the kart series. It's to me, like, because you've seen Crash, you've seen Diddy Kong Racing, and to me, even Sonic, those are kind of the ways you go with boss battles and time trials and transformations and the level transforming. Past that, I mean, what else are you going to be able to do with it?
Yeah. I mean, everybody's copying off them for Mario
Pretty
Kart.
much.
So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing of what they go, how they go what they go with next. Personally,
man, open world Mario Kart game. That's a concept to work on.
Yeah, that's a concept to work on. Yeah, the Forza of kart games.
Oh,
the
wow.
Gran Turismo of kart games.
Hey,
The
that'll
Midnight
work.
Club of kart games.
Yeah, the Midnight Club
Midnight
of
Club,
kart games.
please.
The Burnout Paradise of kart games. The Need for
Please.
Speed Underground of kart games.
I mean,
Fast and the Furious. No, not the Fast and the Furious.
No.
Hey, you know what?
No.
You know what would be funny? Because Fast and Furious 9 comes out and Mario Kart 9 comes out. Let's say Mario Kart 9 comes out next year and there's a commercial with Vin Diesel and Mario.
No. Because when
I
we
would
saw
laugh.
when we saw Arc 2, I was like, no, I thought it was a completely different game. And for them to spend that much time on Arc 2 with Vin Diesel, Fast and the Furious, they don't drive anymore, so they should have nothing to do with Mario Kart.
Dude, Jack, do you not see the potential here? Everybody talking about them going to space. They're not going to space. They're going to Mario Kart.
If they say Vin Diesel in the Mushroom Kingdom, I'm not. I'm not.
No, they're preparing to go to Rainbow Road.
Right, like Tyrese on Rainbow Road. I'm not. No, it's no.
No, Tyrese on Big Blue.
Yeah, I was
The waterfall.
Nah, Nintendo needs to stay
nah,
far away.
better off stick Ludacris on Mute City.
Yep,
Oh,
because of Mute City.
Uh,
While Act the Fool is playing.
See, y'all bringing stuff up, and you got a history of making stuff come true. No, we already got the Mercedes.
That ain't gonna happen.
See, now people said the same thing about Mario and the Mercedes brand. Like, it's just seeing a Mercedes within a Mario Kart game. I never thought in a million years. I can imagine a Vin Diesel me in a Mario Kart game.
Now to be honest, I wouldn't mind if like they did do something with like Chevy and Ford next time on the next one. I wouldn't mind that for real. I wouldn't mind them doing like something with one of them, just to like as a little thing. Because like what Mercedes put in was the classic cars. Now they should have put in the Aston Martin, but that's just neither here nor there. But I mean, I get what they were doing. But yeah, you're right. Like we probably need to stop joking about this because it's probably gonna happen.
Yeah, I can already see it coming.
Fast and the Furious 10 in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Vin Diesel's mumbling ass. I can just hear him talk about Mario now. I've loved Mario since I was a kid. Like, no one cares. Like,
it's all about family.
Right.
Because it's all about family.
The Mushroom Kingdom family. Like,
but hey, what would be funny if Luigi does that death stare as he's Tokyo Distant
needs to.
At Vin Diesel.
Needs to. Jeez. See, yeah, y'all done struck a nerve. Like, I can't stand Vin Diesel.
We're gonna kill this one here before it actually becomes true.
Yeah. Let's do that. All right. So another thing that showed up was Pokemon Snap. Now a lot of people have been asking for this one back. To be honest, I was surprised Nintendo hadn't done anything with it because I was like, You probably could have used it during the Wii U 3DS era, especially
There
with
you
Miiverse.
go.
So why are you doing this now?
The bad thing is, I have a feeling they were planning it, but the Wii U didn't take off the way they wanted to,
Right.
so it didn't happen.
But okay, are you gonna release something with the app so you can like make it? This is why Miiverse needs to come back. Because this game literally makes no sense without Miiverse, without some kind of social media. And I ain't talking about using Facebook and Tumblr and Twitter. I'm talking about their own social media platform.
Right.
It works better with that. So
Because it's already streamlined that way.
for their specific needs. So look, I think it's cool if you into that. If you into that, I think it's cool. I'm not a real big Pokemon head, so it's neither here nor there with me. But I think they kind of missed the ball on this one, unless Nintendo's actually gonna do something and beef up their app or something like that. Unless they're gonna do something like that, I think it's pointless to do Pokemon Snap. I just think it's pointless.
Yeah, because honestly, the Switch doesn't have any cameras on it.
Yeah.
So you can't really use it in like as a real time camera thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the big problem. Now, if it was on the Wii U or the 3DS,
It had cameras on it.
It would have worked real well.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I mean, it would have made more sense, more of a mobile app. I mean, because you already have the whole Pokemon Go aspect. I mean, you might as well. But I mean, like you said, it's too little, too late. I mean, I was not a big fan of Pokemon Snap on the 64. I mean, I had the game. It was just like me as a kid, just in the Pokemon hype. I played it along with like Hey You Pikachu, and they both frustrated the hell out of me because Pikachu really didn't pay attention to listen to what the hell you had to say. But I mean, I think it's more of a nostalgia thing because when the game comes out, it's gonna sell. But I think people are just gonna pick it up. Right, it's Pokemon. I mean, they're just gonna pick it up off of nostalgia because I mean, what could you possibly do different other than take pictures and have like accomplishments and missions of who to take pictures of at what certain time?
Now, if it was me, if I was making it, I would have each course do different things at different times a day. So like every course would have a day, early morning, evening, late night. They would have different cycles. So like you can play the game at different times a day and actually get a full different route or find different Pokemon and stuff like that and take different pictures. I would do that, but I don't think that's what they did.
Nah.
And we don't know. Now, to be completely fair, they only showed like what was like a minute-long trailer. It wasn't that long. So we don't know if it is going to be tied into the Pokemon Go. We don't know.
I have a feeling they will be.
Yeah. That to me makes sense. The only reason I want to bring this up is because I was like, okay, you actually had Miiverse, and now you want to do this?
Blame the crowd. That's all I can say. Like, blame the crowd.
I will blame the loud minority.
Right.
The majority wasn't saying that.
The same people that said that they didn't like the Wii U, but then complained about the Switch not having any of the functions that the Wii U has, and then complained about the Switch not having any of the Wii U games.
Right. And the fact that the Wii U's trending. It was trending on Twitter earlier today. I was like,
it was trending over Smash.
Right.
Yeah. It still is trending, actually.
Oh, the irony, bro. Like,
well, that's the other thing too. That's why I will say this as long as the Switch is popular. The Switch is Nintendo's biggest FU to the gaming industry.
Pretty much.
It's their biggest FU because they gave you a system that was as far as functionality and stuff that it could do way ahead of its time. Took everything out of it and gave you one thing that supposedly everybody wanted, and that was to take it away from the TV,
right,
and carry it with you everywhere. Okay, we gave you that, but we took everything else out.
Pretty much.
And now you got to pay for online, and now you're praising this, but you want us to put all our. You get mad at us if we say, okay, we're going to put these games on the Switch. Well, I already got them on the Wii U. Okay, but 13 million people. Our sales are at 13 million for the Wii U. Right. The Switch is at 65 plus and gaining every month. from a business standpoint, to hell with your feelings. You ain't got. We ain't making you. We're not making you buy this again. So why are you complaining?
Correct.
This ain't for you. In the words of my high school cafeteria teacher, this ain't for you. So, I mean, come on, man.
And to show that was a smart business decision. The game that was the best selling on the Wii U, if I'm not mistaken, is still the best selling on the Switch as of right now with Super Mario Kart. Yeah. Like to me, it's baffling. And for those of us that own the Wii U, we knew what it was. But like I said, people have a strange way of the same way with death with people. They love it after it's gone. And you hear it all the time. Man, I wish Sega would make a Dreamcast too. No, the hell you don't, because you didn't buy the first one.
Yeah,
and then when it came out with GameCube, we love GameCube games. You didn't buy the damn system. Yeah. So I was like, at the end of the day, why are you asking for it?
And that's why when it comes to this question of power, that's why Nintendo doesn't get into a power game with these guys, because they made one that was more powerful than PS2, on par with OG Xbox, and you didn't buy it. And they can't play keeping up with the Joneses. Microsoft has way more money than Sony does.
Yep.
So Nintendo has to be like, okay, if they got more money than them, and Sony's struggling to keep up with the Joneses with them, we can't get in that field. So Iwata was right, and it comes to find out, guess who was right? Iwata. 2005, Iwata was right. He told you. He said, like, look, man, you need to worry about these games. We haven't even tapped out the 6th gen yet. And I guess time proving him to be wise.
Jeez, what I say?
It's funny when the guy that's the president of the company that actually was a game developer actually knows stuff about the gaming industry.
You would think that's how it would work, but I mean, honestly, like you said, the Wii U was ahead of its time. I mean, the only
from a functionality standpoint,
right? The only downside I would ever have with the Wii U would be the load times, as well as like the controller in itself. It did feel kind of clunky sometimes.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it's fine, because as much as people was complaining about the battery life, it still lasted longer than the damn PS4 controller, and it had a screen on it,
which had no screen.
and my thing is, like, so I had a Pro controller for my Wii U, and a lot of people are like, why I gotta buy another controller? You ain't got to buy nothing you don't want to buy. But the thing is, if you complaining,
there are other options.
There are options, And the Pro controller you can play that with everything.
Yep.
It wasn't, for some games, it wasn't the best option. Sometimes the best option was the Wii Remote and Chuck.
Yep.
Any FPS, you better play with that Wii Remote and Chuck, because twin sticking one gonna get it.
And imagine that too. Like, you had the Wiimote and Chuck, you had the Pro controller, all the attachments that come along with the Wiimote and Chuck, the gamepad in itself, like, and then GameCube controller on top of that. Like, there was so many. Like, I feel like as much as Nintendo's pitching the Switch as a culmination of everything that they've made throughout time, I feel like the Wii U was that.
Yeah.
Like, especially when
with added functionality.
Exactly.
Because if you're a sports fan, they had the best damn fantasy ticker on that. They had the best TV app. Theirs was the best. Sony and Microsoft couldn't compare.
Yep.
Because you were getting live stuff, and all you had to do was look to the side and check. If you was watching the game on TV, you could check your other stats and stuff.
Yep.
And on top of that, you could program that controller to be a universal remote for your TV.
Yep. Dang, boy, I missed the Wii U.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I will continue to say this as long as people be saying, like, the Nintendo Switch is Nintendo's biggest FU to the gaming industry, because they were proven right. Like, okay, so y'all just like stuff that's popular. You don't.
That's it. Yeah.
That's all this is. So if the gaming industry tells you to like it, you like it.
Yep.
That's how it works. And then, as a side note, I know this means nothing, but if you've never taken a Wii U disc and put it in a Wii U, you have not lived, because that is like the smoothest transition.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's like, it's
like you barely touch this. You barely touch it, and it just drags it right in. Come on, man, we gonna play. Give me the game, man. You gonna play? Give me the game.
And since Nintendo knows how to actually compress stuff, you can actually get physical games, and the whole game is on the disc.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw some people complaining, and I don't I don't want to be be mad at people that hate digital only, but I really want to ask them, like, do you really think your PS5 games, all the whole game is on that disc?
Mm-mm.
It's not.
Um,
You are better off actually buying it digital if you really want the game, because if you're saying, oh well, I get it physical because when they cut the servers off, I'll still be able to play half the game,
half the
if
game.
that, or a
If it'll
quarter of
load
it.
up.
Yeah, if it'll load up. The whole game is not. If you got the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, I could promise you that whole game is not on that disc.
No, not even
It's
close.
not. If you got Destiny 2, if you got Call of Duty disc, that I know that whole game ain't on that disc because it's like 285 gigs.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, this way the digital's coming, whether we like it or not.
Well,
And I
and
don't
it's
know.
coming to everything. It's not
Yeah.
just gaming. It's coming to everything. I mean, like
Oh
it's
yeah.
easier now to get Google Play and rent movies on this and just throw it to your TV.
Yep, it
Yep.
really is. Now that aspect I like. It's gonna take me a while to get on board with it as far as gaming goes.
Yeah,
But as far as Game Pass, that has got to be one of my
it's
most
a
favorite
godsend.
things. It's a godsend,
It's
especially
the
for me as a
best rental
parent.
service out
Yeah.
there.
Right. Especially me as a parent. Like my kids was just playing Marvel's Capcom Infinite just now because at first I was like, I know I don't have that game.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh yeah, I see it say installing Game Pass. Now, as much as I hate it, my kids, they don't care. A fighting game is a fighting game, and like they'll play the hell out of any fighting game.
Yeah, TV
But
show Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Dude, I do have one gripe with Game Pass.
what's
I
that?
have one gripe with Game Pass, that they expect you to purchase the DLC for the games.
yeah,
True.
that's true.
True.
That's true. Yeah.
Like,
mean-
no, if I'm renting it, if I'm using your service as a rental service for the game, I am not buying that DLC.
Which
Yeah.
is what you want us to do. You want us to rent it because you want us to buy it. So you think that if we go in and rent it, play it, we'll buy it. And I understand the thinking behind it, but yeah, I'm not paying for no. Nah,
Like, I'm not buying DLC for a game that I can't keep.
Or
Yeah.
that's not going to be on there full time unless it's first party.
Yeah, basically. But other than that, though, because that's what I use my Game Pass for. I use it as a rental service,
Yeah.
especially if it's something that's coming to everything. I should goddamn use it for Soul Calibur 6. My damn fanboy behind, but
Mhm.
I think it's still on there. You could.
I already bought it.
You already done bought the
Oh,
game.
you already bought
Like an idiot. I already bought it. Remember I told you I was like, man, I can't wait to jump in Soul Calibur. I was happy, and then that next week you saw my sad face. So yeah, talk about this game can't run on the Switch.
It could have. There's
It
nothing
definitely
that
could've.
game does that can't be run on the Switch.
Really,
Exactly.
Namco Bandai, really that game can't run.
There's nothing that game does that can't be run on the Switch.
Samurai Showdown 2019 can run on the Switch, but that game can't. You know what I want to say right now, but I can't because we live.
Trash. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, how bad it runs. It loads so damn much too.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus.
And my thing is, Bandai, if you want to just throw it to the side, just like add Ganondorf, add Link, and I promise you, you're going to make way more money than the people that bought it on PC, Sony, and Microsoft. I can promise you that. You
Yeah.
know what happened when Soul Calibur 2 came out? 22 million GameCubes, 8 million sold for Soul Calibur 2.
That's
It was
nuts.
the highest selling for it.
And I think the next closest was Sony, and they didn't come close. I think they was at what, 3 mil or something like that? 2 or 3
Somewhere in
mil?
that ballpark.
Yeah. That nobody was close.
Like I said, I get that, even in that era, the PS2 was the more popular console. And then you look at, this past generation to where the PS4 was the most popular console. But if I'm a game developer and we've literally seen so many developers just whisk away in the wind because they can't keep up, why keep going towards something that's going to cost you more money with a not guaranteed return?
Yeah.
And the fact that, everyone keeps pitching the narrative that, okay, well, Nintendo players only buy Nintendo games. No. If the third party company put in the same amount of effort they did on other consoles, maybe we would purchase those other games.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just you don't put forth the effort, so therefore the narrative stays up. It's just I don't get trying to spend movie budget on a video game thinking you're going to get that kind of return.
No.
It just doesn't make sense.
I keep telling people like there are more movie fans than there are gamers out
Yeah.
there. So if you spending 200-300 million on a game, you're not getting $1 billion in a month or 2 months. This ain't Avengers.
Imagine
They'll-
if Last of Us or Last of Us 2 came to theaters opposed to being on the PS4.
Yeah,
I guarantee they would have made a lot more money.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they definitely would have won
Which is
because
why they're going to HBO Max. Well, yeah. I mean, it's they're more. It's ridiculous, and I think that's the other thing too that people aren't getting. I mean, that's why you got. I feel bad for CD Projekt Red. I really do, because I understand what happened to them, and people are gonna blame them, and I completely understand because they do own fault in this.
Yeah,
But
they
at the
do.
same time, they are a publicly traded company. They are not answering to you gamers. They are answering to investors, and investors don't care about you. They don't. They don't
They
care.
care about the money you give them. That's about
And
it.
I'm pretty sure them investors said, okay, we want this on everything that you can put it on because we want to maximize my return. But yeah, we're running into issues with this. We probably just need to put it to PC. What did I say? You know, that's what that was. So, like I said, they have to own up to it because they at the end of the day they should have been transparent off top. They just should have been transparent off top at the end of the day. But at the same time, they're not answering to the gamers. They're not answering to us. They're
Not
answering
anymore.
to investors. And when you answer to investors don't care about your feelings.
right.
Put the damn game out.
Yep.
But it's not gonna sell. What did I say? You know?
Mhm.
This is what we've talked about multiple times. The same thing Shadow has said multiple times. If the weakest hardware is available, why not start with that?
Yeah.
Right.
And then add in your other features for the other platforms after
they used
you've
to do.
made that base version. Because then you can port it to other platforms and it shouldn't run into all of the same issues running.
Mm-hmm.
Or
target
if
should
you have
be
a game,
focused.
or if you have a game that's ambitious like Cyberpunk 2077, just be like, look, this is made for PC, and if we get it to work on other stuff, we'll tell you about that later. But
Right.
Yep.
that's who this is for. This ain't for, and if PC players, this is how you're gonna have to play it. This is what you need. If you ain't got it, don't complain to us.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they should have did, because my friends that have it on PC and have their rig set up properly, they're like, man, I've made one or two glitches. That's it.
Right.
So clearly the game is meant for PC. It's not meant for console. But
Right.
the other thing too is people got to stop believing this lie that the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S are better than PCs. No, they're not. They're
No, they're
using
not.
3-year-old chipsets.
They are nowhere near better than PC.
No. Like if you pay attention to the IT world and you pay attention to tech, you know that every 6 to 8 months there are new chipsets already out,
Yep.
and they go to PCs first. So yeah, when they started developing the PS5 and the Series S and X, yeah, they were bad. They were top of the line then.
Yeah.
But when did they come out? 2020.
Yeah. But see, I mean, that's kind of the thing too, to where if we look back on older consoles to where they seem like they were more customized than being straight x86 PCs, then it was something more of an appeal. But I mean, had Steam Machine truly taken off like it was supposed to, honestly, I mean, consoles
There'd be no
would
purpose.
Yeah, would be
There'd
no
be
purpose.
no purpose to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's like, dang, I got a plug and play PC that really I can upgrade if I want to even entertain doing so, and
Yep.
still kind of bypass all the other BS. And if I want to dig deeper, I could. Like, yeah, I mean, it's really kind of like a Android versus Apple situation, to where you see a lot of people do go Android because it's so open to you side loading and doing all this other extra stuff because they want to dig deeper. And Apple, most people tend to go that route because it's right there in your face. It's very simplistic. But I mean, had that Steam engine taken off, I think we would be seeing a different picture in the console space.
Yeah. And somehow Nintendo will still be selling.
Yeah, because they
Somehow.
don't do your
Yeah.
typical
There's-
power.
Yeah. They stay true to themselves. Sometimes you just got to stay true to yourself.
But I mean, what does that mean for Microsoft and Sony though? Because I mean,
well, Microsoft could have easily stayed true to themselves by saying, okay, you know what, we want to be the center of your entertainment system,
right?
And that's where we're gonna stay at.
Yeah,
but they didn't want to do that. Soon as stuff went bad, okay, we start handing out blank checks. Mm-hmm. We'll pay you whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, truth be told, I didn't know much about the original Xbox when it was coming out. So when I saw it, I thought for sure when I saw Microsoft on it, I was like, oh, so this is a thing that has games and you can play your PC games on it too. They was like, nah, it's just like you can just play Xbox games. I was like, okay, well that was a miss. Like it was a big miss.
But at the time they couldn't get it to work, and they were trying to because they got story time. They got mad because Yamamuchi basically laughed them out of Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like, y'all idiots actually went to Japan to convince that dude to sell Nintendo.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give him credit for trying at least.
That's arrogance on a whole new level though, because that's like we're not paying attention to who this guy is. We're just gonna do it anyway because we're Microsoft and we can buy anybody.
Yep. I mean, it's the American way.
And they laughed them out of Japan.
Huh?
And people just now found out about this year. Like, really? That was 20 plus years ago.
I'm just going to chalk it up to, hey, look, they're new to the Twitter and they wasn't paying attention to gaming back then.
But you would have think though, because of how Microsoft got into gaming, because they basically use Sega as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
Right.
Why not go to Sega?
That was my thing.
That's what they should have did. Well, they wound up doing it anyway because they didn't have a choice. They wound up doing it anyway because they tried to talk to Sony, and Sony looked at them like, if you don't get the hell out of here. So if you already had a relationship with Sega, because they did, because that's who, in the Dreamcast, that's who did their online.
Yeah.
So they already had a relationship with them. So, and then Sega turned around and actually helped them with the console. So why don't you just go to them in the first place? And since Microsoft has the money like that, the first thing I would have did was buy Sega.
Buy Sega, yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, logically speaking, you know that this was Nintendo's biggest competitor during the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
They have an extensive list of great IPs that could have been turned into so many different things. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to secure that. We're going to try to
buy Rareware and not let them do anything.
Yep.
Progress.
Yeah, I mean, because that was actually perfect. Sega had the assets, but the thing is, all you need to do was just come with a different name because Sega's name at that time was just horrible.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
people didn't have no faith in it.
Right. So now you show up with Xbox. Oh, there's something new, and you don't know Sega's doing what they're doing in the background. That's perfect. You know, because I think one of the biggest things I kind of miss about Sega was more or less of like your arcade type games, and it seems that in its essence is gone from gaming. Everybody wants to be so damn serious opposed to doing that arcade, let's say probably like $20-$30 game that you can get a lot of enjoyment out of, multiplayer, the whole nine. That was what they were good at. Why people like Crazy Taxi so much. Like, because even with this game that's supposed to be somewhat of a successor to it, I don't see the looseness. I don't see the fun. I don't see the looseness in it. Everything seems tight. And it's just like, no, I like the fact that my car is flipping and clipping and doing it. It was
meant to do that.
I'm glad I could hit
chaos
people with
made it fun.
Right.
I am glad I can hit people with my car.
Right.
Yes, I'm glad I can hit people. If you're gonna sit up there and get in my way, you will get ran over. I'm making this money.
The bodies fly everywhere. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
And yes, I am cutting through the park. And yes, no cop will catch me. You will get to your place on time.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing I liked about Sega. So imagine, I don't think Microsoft would have to do as much work as they're doing now of trying to build an exclusive package. Yeah. But as far as Microsoft goes, all I think about is first-person shooters, and I mean,
and that's their fault.
Right? You can only have so many first-person shooters.
The bad thing is, even when Microsoft launched the Xbox, they had stuff that could have worked as mascot characters. They could have done another Goonies game. They could have, extended Blinks.
Yeah.
Instead of killing it. after 2 games.
Well, my thing was when Rare took the money, and then they did Perfect Dark Zero, which is another shooter. Which I'm like, you already got Halo. You don't. What are you doing?
Perfect Dark. Going to Perfect Dark was a smart move, but the way they did it was a horrible move.
But the problem was you already have Halo, and Halo had dropped right before it. Yeah, nobody was going to pick that game up.
Right.
So you cannibalized your own self.
Especially not with having an Americanized Joanna Dark when she was British.
Yeah.
Like, no, that don't make sense. Plus, like, just logically speaking, why not? Like, they had Sega make Condemned and Condemned 2 for the Xbox 360. Mm-hmm. And those were awesome games. I really wish that Condemned 2 would actually get, like, backwards compatibility. The first one does, but the second one doesn't for some reason. But, again, they had a close working relationship with Sega. I would have, if I was anybody, I'm like, Sega's teams can do the Sonic games. We could give them Blinks and let them work on that. We could have given Rare the open field to work with what they already had and working with Cameo, doing more Perfect Dark stuff.
Jet Force Gemini,
mm-hmm. Conquer, letting them develop a few other IPs, get them working on Banjo-Kazooie and stuff again, not nuts and bolts. And I really hate this Battletoads game that came out. It is an awful game.
It's so lame.
It is so horrible. This is the first Battletoads game I don't want to finish.
I didn't finish it. That's why I didn't. That's why I never reviewed it.
I played halfway through that game and stopped.
This is not funny.
It's not fun.
It's not funny. It's not fun. This is no.
The thing that they missed the whole point of what made Battletoads. One, right. The Empress, the Sorceress, whatever she is. Yeah. She was a sexy, strong female character. They made her a joke.
Yeah, mm-hmm. She was a punchline.
She became a punchline.
Yeah.
Then Zitz, Rash, and Pimple are dumb as hell.
Yeah.
They weren't actually stupid. They find themselves in wild situations, but they weren't actually stupid.
Now they cracked jokes.
Yeah,
but everybody cracked jokes back then. But this wasn't like
these ain't like over the top with it.
Yeah, they wasn't over the top. It's like, okay, are y'all trying to do Nicktoon or something? Is that what y'all want to do?
Which was not what Battletoads was.
And now, if that's what you do, that's fine. But make it a cartoon. Don't make it a video game.
Yeah, don't do a video game on it. And the cartoon would not have done well.
No, it wouldn't.
I'll tell you the truth, it wouldn't have.
Yeah, because it's just not. It's not funny.
And then the combat in the game is so. Ugh. You got 3 different buttons that do essentially the same task, but for different item or weapon types.
Which makes no sense.
Why? Why not just relegate that all to one button and make it just do the same thing?
You know what? I got a way to fix Battletoads. Give it the way forward. And
yeah, that's about anything like that. Do. Yeah, I was about to say anything like that. Way forward kind of just runs with it.
That's side-scrolling beat 'em ups. That is way forward's forte. Give it to them. Yeah. Let them work their magic. Because I bet you let Way Forward do it, it's going to be a way better game.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I hated the original Double Dragons. I love Double Dragon Neon.
that game is so wild. But that's an example of Way Forward taking an IP and working on it and making something much better out of it. Because the original Double Dragon, the way those games are set up, is so difficult for no reason.
Yeah. Like you needed 2 players for that. There was no solo in this.
Yeah, you can't.
That and Contra, you better have a backup.
Contra, though, you could still enjoy playing by yourself. Yeah, Double Dragon, not so much.
Yeah, but if you're trying to beat it, you needed 2 people for that.
Right.
Especially if you want to get the good ending.
Yeah, there's no way to. No, there's not. Before we get out of here, though, I do want to give a little bit of a let's talk on Monster Hunter Rise demo. So I just want to say, Mrs. Susine, I'm going to enjoy murdering you when the full game comes out. Yes,
we'll see.
It's on revenge. It's revenge.
So did you go solo with him?
Huh?
You went solo with him?
Yeah. Me
What
and
happened?
me and you, payback's gonna be a mother. So, that being said, I will say I am enjoying myself. And you are right. You are right, Jack. I'm gonna have to long range that mug if I'm by myself. If you by yourself, long range the hell out of that mug.
Yeah, you gonna have
them,
to.
them damn soap bubbles. I'm gonna the things I'm gonna do to you when this whole game drop in March.
Yep.
Your ass is mine. But
now I'm curious too. Now in regards to those bubbles, you have the clear ones and you also have these red ones. But then here's the weird part too. With that, I don't remember the name, but the stupid cat that you have, right?
yeah, the Palico punk.
Right. Why does that cat create a green bubble for you to collect health? Because
Can I be honest with you?
Because honestly, I didn't even touch it.
I'm
about to say, honestly, I didn't even touch it because I thought it was just another bubble. I'm thinking green bubble, poisonous. I'm not touching that. Like I didn't even do it. But then come to find out later on, it's health.
Well, the thing is, my Palico didn't do nothing. My Palico sucked. But you know what? I rise with the Palamoot. My dog, my one and only, my true homie. I ride with him. Literally, I ride on him.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because thank God they did that, because the running in Monster Hunter, no.
That Palico is like useless.
He is. He's so useless. God, he's useless.
I'm like, can I leave you home? Let me just bring 2 dogs. I'll leave you out at home.
Yeah, that would be perfect. 2 dogs, yeah, that'd be perfect.
But yeah, mine didn't do that. Like, but to be honest, I did get kind of one-sided. But that's neither here nor there. Let's not focus on the past. Let's focus on the present. So I will say this. I enjoyed the demo. I'm gonna play through it again just because I like it. I'm having fun with it. I love the wire bug.
Yeah.
They come in handy because the insane amount of combos you can do of the wire bugs.
You're
awesome.
About to see some Breath of the Wild type videos when it comes down to these wire bugs.
Yeah.
Like people are about to go over entire maps just traversing with these wire bugs.
There's a guy, Shadow retweeted a tweet of this guy doing one. It was ridiculous. He only had 3 wire bugs, but he found an infinite loop for it. I'm like, oh, this is going to be Breath of the Wild all over again. Yep. It's going to be 10 years later and people still going to be doing stuff in Monster Hunter Rise. I mean, there's still people doing stuff in Breath of the Wild now, and that game's close to being 4 years old.
Which is weird, because I just saw one yesterday, and it was like the ultimate shot. I'm like, okay, what is this? Dude literally shot a bow in the air, shot an arrow in the air, did the little trick to where they do the bounce and go across the map, literally caught up with the arrow. As soon as he goes past it, it hits an actual guardian and kills it in one shot. I was like, how the hell did you do that? Like, the trajectory, like, how did you even say, this is where I have to let go of the shot right here? And then it's going to hit him dead in his eye with the guardian arrow, and bam, he's gone, one hit. Like,
I saw one where one dude was fighting a Lionel, jumped off of the top of an embankment. The Lionel didn't know he was there, pelted him in the back of the head with bomb arrows. By the time he hit the ground, came around with a spin slash and killed him. I'm like, how in the hell?
Yeah.
I tried to do that and died immediately. I died from a heart attack. I had a heart attack in midair. I tried to do that, I had a heart attack.
Yeah, so I mean, if we see stuff like that with Monster Hunter, I think that'd be awesome, because like I said, this will be my first go of doing it with a group online, but this has been the first Monster Hunter that I've like really tried other weapons, because it seems like they did make things a little more accessible for you to try everything and it not be so difficult. So for me, actually looking at long range weapons is different, because I went dual blade. I'm not touching nothing else. Dual blade. But now I'm looking at, the great sword, the bow, the light bow gun. I'm looking even the little insect clave. Yeah. Like that thing is crazy. Like, it's just complete acrobatics. Well,
that's the thing, because I wanted to ask you this, because I'm still dual blade for life, but I know, like, if I'm having to solo, I'll probably have to switch my plans up. But if I'm playing in a team, I would still want to be dual blade for life.
Yeah, I'm about to say I've given up on dual blades all because of that one fight you were just talking about. Like
Oh
he
yeah, you can't
made
do
me
that fight with dual
forget
blades. Yeah.
from dual blades. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to fight another monster with dual blades after this.
Not
So
solo. Not
no,
not
not
one on one.
solo, not
Now
so.
Izuchi, I tore that mug up with my dual blades. I'm like, oh yes, yeah. So
Yeah.
certain stuff I think you can, but
Hmm.
certain stuff it's like, what? I know the Monster Hunter Maker's like, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
Don't use that. You stupid. Don't use it. God dang it.
And
So
I fell in love with that light bow gun. Like I really did, just having those different capsules to where either
mhm,
you can do the poison, you can put them to sleep, paralyze them, either do a power one to where you can actually break some type of armor. And the fact that with the first one, literally shooting him in his head, bam, he's down. Like like he's just
yeah,
on the ground just squirming. And the same thing with the hammer. I'm thinking to myself like, okay, he's super fast, but I can catch him because he'll do that stupid 2 or 3 spins,
yeah,
and then his tail gets stuck in the ground. And as soon as I come with the hammer and hit him in his head, bow, he just drops to the ground. And then at that point, now I'm just tearing his behind up. And I was like, the hammer is slow, but when it connects, like the great sword, it's a wrap.
yeah. That's what I will say. The hammer and the great sword is when they connect. That's why if it's me, I'm never grabbing those unless I'm with a group.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
too slow for
way
one
too
on
slow.
ones. They're way too slow for one on ones. I think my favorite thing for as far as all around is the insect glaive and the sword and shield for all around for best
Right.
all around because I can't if I'm by myself I can't be afforded to be slowed down because these monsters are too big and they too fast. Especially if it's now if I see two of them I can make them fight each other
Oh
and
yeah.
I just sit back and watch with some popcorn and then just go when I'm weak, then yeah, I'll do that. But or if I have a bow on me, I'll just sit back and just pelt them. But the wyvern riding thing, now in the trailer, they showed you actually capturing a Rathalos.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that is real, that we could do that in game. Because if it is, that's what I'm bringing with me when I fight Magnamalo. I'm not coming there without a Rathalos.
Now, did he show up in your playthrough?
Rathalos?
Yeah.
I saw him flying, but he ain't fight.
Oh, I'm
I
about to say
did
he
see,
didn't fight. Like as soon as he landed, I ran. Like I was like, nah, I'm not
yeah,
there.
because
Not
they
even
made.
doing
I
it.
don't know. Complete complete disclosure. I did not play Monster Hunter World. Did they make Rathalos bigger? He wasn't that big in uh what's the last one I played? Generations, Ultimate Ultimate Generation.
Ultimate
One
was
of
the
them.
last one. Yeah.
Yeah, one of them.
But
He wasn't that big. Now he looks way bigger.
now
This could
I
also be the Sakurai effect as well because Sakurai put him in
right.
his game and it
I
looked better. Still
I
looked
played a
better.
little bit of World. He was big in World, but I don't know. I don't think I necessarily saw a difference. I think I'll pay attention when I'm actually fighting him. Because like
Okay.
I said, as soon as he landed, I hauled ass. Like I just like no, not today. I'm
Well,
not I'm
it's
not doing
not worth it because
no, it's not.
uh-uh.
Nope,
No,
it's not worth it.
I remember fighting him on Wii U. That no, him and
No.
Lagia Crust, we had to do that together. There was
Right.
no 1v1 in that mug. No, hell no.
Because it's like
Especially when he gets airborne.
right. Like it's just like it's too much. Like because I actually beat him on the 3DS, which surprised the hell out of me because I didn't have the grip pad pro, whatever it was
Hmm.
called, the D-pad pro that came with the 3DS. So you had to actually use the D-pad on the actual touch screen, which I
Yeah, and
was
that's
surprised I found a way to even master that. It was nuts, but um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm interested to see if he is bigger and if he's made any changes whatsoever, opposed to the same move set that he's had in the previous Monster Hunter games.
and it could just be me because, like I said, I didn't play World. He just looked bigger than me because I saw him flying, but I'm like, oh hell, no, the devil is alive. So,
Right,
like,
right.
so yeah, thankfully he didn't land when I saw him. He didn't land. I just
Hmm.
noticed him because I was going. I think I was on my way to fight Izuchi, and I
Hmm.
just noticed the shadow, and I looked up, and it was him. I'm like, I'm like, that is not. I mean, yeah, that's Rathalos. Do not see me.
Yep.
So
Just
yeah.
flying like, okay, I'm here.
As a
But
matter of fact, it kind of reminded me of Ridley and Metroid when he would just be flying over but not paying
hmm
attention to you. So it's kind of like that. I'm like, okay, yeah, let me get on my Palamute because if it come down to it, I'm running. So
yeah, which is possible. And I like the fact too. Also in this demo, I don't know if it was in Worlds because I don't know. World just didn't capture me enough to care to continue playing it. But so the way like even when you're riding around, you can sharpen your weapon, you can drink your potion, and then you also have these bugs that can increase your attack, increase your defense, and then also like I think that this has been a previous Monster Hunters to where you can hit certain bugs that'll cause the monster to go blind for a minute.
Yeah.
Like just having those
confusion and blindness and paralysis.
Like just to have those type of things just laying out and about. Like if I just need a little bit more for my attack, if I find that one yellow bug, I just snatch them up real quick and it adds a +5 to my attack. And I can just go and do what I have to do. But just having the ability to hop on that dog and get the dog and get to sharpening my tool opposed to just sitting there like a sitting duck. Even though you distance yourself, the monster just wants to seek you out and then just haul ass towards you and you just taking like 8 hours to sharpen it. I was like, come on, hurry up, dude. Like, I don't have time for this.
Like, I think like when I was fighting Izuchi, I messed around and had to sharpen it. And luckily I hit him to where he started limping off. And that gave me a chance. But his little homeboy stuck around. But thankfully, my Palamute knew what to do. My Pelico didn't. And this is why I'm a dog person. Situations like that is why I'm a dog person.
That has to be the most useless cat. Like my kids are like, oh, it's such a cute cat. I was like, you just have no idea how useless this bastard has been since his introduction into this doggone series.
Yeah. Like, just stay in the village and cook. God dang it.
Something. But I mean, other than that, I enjoyed the game. I just wish there was an actual lock on that you can do because I kind of get tired of rotating that camera. But other than that, I mean, it's a small gripe for something that's supposed to be challenging. And, you know, knowing that I'm going to have to fight these monsters 10 times over just to get the right piece to make the right outset for this outfit and say, hey, you need to get this one claw. And I'm like, I just barely won. So you mean to tell me I didn't break that at all? So I got to go back and break this again? Like, you bastard. Like, all right.
The amount of frustration we used to have trying to get that damn Lagia Crust set.
Oh, I remember that. Jeez.
Because you had to go underwater to fight that bastard.
Yes. Trust me, don't remind me.
How you underwater with lightning powers, you...
Yeah. Because
as soon as you beat him, though, you lightning resistant.
Yeah, and that's why I like the fact when he kept running and he got on that small island, I was like, okay, perfect. We out the water. I can come and fight him on a small island. That's usually where I tore his ass up, but then he would go right back underwater. And I was like, here we go again.
Yeah. Same old.
Pretty much.
Please don't. Lagia Crust, please don't be in this game.
I kind of want him to.
You got some unfinished business with him?
Because to think, when I first fought him, I'm thinking, mind you, this is like, I've seen Monster Hunter, but this is my first time playing it. So on the Wii U and 3DS, I bought both of them because I was like, I like the aspect of taking on the go to 3DS. And I was also playing on the Wii U because you just do that quick transfer.
Yep. And that one was quick. That was
super quick. Quick. So this is my first introduction. So when I'm looking at it and the way they're setting it up, like, oh, we keep getting these vibrations. We don't know what these earthquakes are coming from. And then come to find out it's him. I'm like, as soon as I beat him, cool, I'm good. Not even thinking Monster Hunter is that type of game that there's a plethora of monsters. You have to fight them multiple times to get these certain type of armors. I'm thinking I got to level up. I'm like, when did I level up my weapon? Like, because I didn't understand the concept of Monster Hunter at the time. Yeah. And then when I realized, like, oh, okay, I beat him. That's it, right? It's like, no. There's some more monsters showing up later on down the line that, you know, this big white bearded monster that swims throughout whatever. I'm like, okay, I judged the game completely wrong, but I was having fun with it.
That's the one thing I will say about it, because I am enjoying myself. The camera's always been the camera in these games, so I just deal with it at this point. The barrage that they mentioned in the trailer and in the I guess you could call it a mini direct that they did for it. I'm interested in seeing how that's gonna go down.
Yeah, we'll see.
Multiple monsters coming at you, and you got to keep just basically tower defense.
Pretty much. I mean, because honestly, I didn't think that was going to be in this game. Seeing on World, they made it seem like we needed this type of horsepower to do it.
Yeah, and that's
But
Now we're coming to find out that that's a lie.
it was a complete lie. You just got to build it from the ground up, and that's just what it is. And to see multiple monsters on that screen at the same time, literally like fighting it out, and I felt like even in the demo, I saw different outcomes compared to what I saw in World. Like World seemed more scripted than what this was, and I could be wrong because, like I said, I only played a handful of hours with it. But with this and watching the Wyvern pretty much show up and then literally just get his behind handed to him by all three of the little raptors or whatever. Like, just literally they tore him apart to where I could instantly walk up to him and ride him. Like, I didn't have to touch him. He just got knocked out like on the spot.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping we can get that with like if we do be able to get like the flying ones, we can like go airborne.
That'd be interesting. And then it'd be even more interesting because the Horizon director said that couldn't be done, hence why Horizon Forbidden West was supposed to be an exclusive, but come to find out that's not true. But that's another thing,
Yeah. We have to leave that one for another discussion. So that's gonna bring it to the end of this podcast. Hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. So Andre, anything you want to pimp out? Oh, by the way, I will be leaving a link to his podcast first episode in the description. So if you want to check it out, if you didn't get a chance to, just click on the link in the description. But anything you want to pimp out?
I mean, you already pimped out what I was going to pimp out. So I don't know what I'm supposed to really say. No, I'm just doing my normal videos, just trying to get everything back into motion. And there's going to be more of the Game Idea Foundry Talk podcast. It's just not going to be as rapid as everybody wanted me to do them.
Right.
This is just not going to happen. Just those take time to think of the concept and kind of get things rolling. I mean, I have some ideas for it already, but I'm also leaving the next episode to a vote. So that way I have time to get stuff set up. But yeah, just check my Twitter because the poll will probably be up by the time this goes live. So you can make your decision there.
Okay.
Cool. Jack?
I think I only had like two things, but by way of invitation from Andre, after we had the podcast yesterday, I had like 1,000 ideas, like, because there's one I've been sitting on for a while, that this game, it had a sequel, but it wasn't supposed, like the sequel was completely different from the game that got introduced on the 64 by so I mean anybody that pays attention to everything that I harp on as far as 64, they'll know what game I'm talking about. But I want to pitch that to you and seeing how that game in itself could either be remade or they can just kind of do like a return to it to just spruce it up a little bit and bring it to, I would assume, just a Switch because it was a 64 exclusive. So definitely want to do that. But other than that, yeah, I mean, if I can filter all my stuff through Andre, I'm not pushing nothing on channels as far as gaming with me, because I mean that in itself is a headache, and that's why I commend anybody that do it. For Jay to do it as much as he do it. So I mean, to see you guys pick up a following and me trying to make sure that I retweet and put out there for people to watch, that would be more or less of what I pimp out as YouTube for your channel, as well as Shadow whenever he decides he wants to do his stuff as well.
Yeah, he told me to keep my DMs open because he's playing something.
Right. So I mean, if I had to pimp out anything, it'd be y'all, for real. Because I mean, honestly, if I have the platform to actually just bring ideas and then we all execute it together, I'd rather it happen that way opposed to trying to do it by myself.
Cool. Mm-hmm. All right. As for me, I will have a couple of Let's Talks up next week, as well as some gameplay for some random games. I'm trying to figure out which ones I'm going to do. I am going to do first few minutes of DOA 6. I did not buy the DLC. But I will have the first few minutes because I like DOA, so I'm probably gonna play the story mode a little bit. I don't know why I like that game series so much. And Koei Tecmo, Team Ninja Gaiden. Seriously, I mean, I know y'all trying to get Ryu Hayabusa in Smash. We sorry about Sephiroth, but I'm just saying. And I'll probably have some more little stuff coming up in the future. I have some plans. I just got to work them out of my head for the time being. So as soon as I get them worked out, trust me, I will let you guys know. Don't forget to check out my Fresh Take movie and TV reviews. I have one for Batman Soul of the Dragon if you're looking to watch that. That went live. And me and Vicky will be back reviewing WandaVision. So please be on the lookout for that on the Fresh Take on this channel. I got a playlist already set up for you. So that being said, time to leave you all with these few words. Love, peace, and soul. See y'all next week.
Peace, everybody.